have to explore this issue further because this is this is very explosive information, and I almost had to think to myself, geez, should I go on a medium like the Alex Jones show, reaching millions of people with this information? But I felt compelled to because I owe an obligation to basically to you and your organization for what you've done to wake me up. There's a man called L.B. Bork. He wrote a book. He's called The Red Amendment. Tell Jesse to get a copy of that book. It's called The Red Amendment by L.B. Bork, okay? And he'll explain to you, because you don't have to believe me, you do your research, he'll explain to you how when you take U.S. citizenship, how they trick us, they fool us. As soon as, like when you were going across the border... Yeah,
just to be clear, before you were a state citizen, they were a confederation that created the federal government. Our senators were sent to Washington. They were elected by the legislature. They were creatures of the states. They didn't want to actually make black people, free men, so instead they made them wards of the District of Columbia. And yes, that's all true.
No, Alex, they made all of us wards.
No, I know, sir, I know, sir. I'm telling you what they said they were doing with the creation of that amendment, the reason they said they created that amendment. And yes, that's what it did to everyone. I've been aware of that for 16 years, and I'm glad you called in and brought that up. It is true. Let's go ahead and take another call here. Let's talk to Hector in Texas. Hector, you're on the air.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question about Occupy Wall Street. You mentioned that they're going to clamp down on it, and I wanted to know if that action is going to backfire on them. And I mean, I went last Friday to an Occupy Houston, and I noticed the overwhelming majority of people there are, Democrats, and they blame capitalism and stuff like that. But there's reasonable people also there who want to talk about reinstating Glass-Steagall Act and really know what it is, the problem we're having. So I was also putting a call out there to the, Infowars to at least try to educate people, go to the Occupy movements and try to educate
No, this is a golden opportunity to reach people that are politically waking up. Every person you wake up is a devastating blow against the globalist. In the fetters, get in there. People that want to get rid of the abolition of the Glass-Steagall Act and bring it back to stop these mega banks engaging in all this fraud. We've got to be in there talking to these groups. That's why I traveled around and went to the Federal Reserve locations.
Yeah, I'm also wondering what's going on with the Federal Reserve protest. I haven't heard anything from you, any update.
I know about a week or two into it, people were still up there, and we actually interviewed some of them on the nightly news. And I don't think there's anybody up there now, but it got a lot of attention on the Federal Reserve and really scared the system. And there's protests off and on at Federal Reserves everywhere. So great job to everybody out there. All right, we're going to get Governor Jesse Ventura on the line. The system wants to misrepresent his case and what's happened to him so they can violate all of our rights. This is a watershed event. Jesse Ventura is like Rosa Parks, ladies and gentlemen. He's had his civil rights violated, and they're trying to demonize him in the whore media. Stay with us. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow, step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
If you just joined us, I have likened Jesse Ventura to Rosa Parks. I've likened Miss USA, who went to the Dallas airport, and they went in her panties and touched her genitals. She broke down and cried, and then they made fun of her. They had to settle with a woman in Amarillo where they pulled her blouse off and made comments about her breast. They put notes in people's bags saying, hey, I'd like to basically have sex with you. Hey, get your freak on, girl. I've had TSA make fun of me and make little snide comments. I've watched Jesse Ventura in Atlanta where they went up between his legs. Ron Paul says it's done the same thing to him. He's a medical doctor. I've had medical exams, and quite frankly, it's disturbing, even when it's your doctor and you're like a cow they're checking to have them, check for hernias and things and do what they do. And last year we had airline pilots who said, that's it, our union, we're going to boycott, we're not going to fly. They reported that former combat pilots would have to go home and would throw up in their parking lots in some cases after they were groped because people, they say, get tough, take it. Get tough. This is about humiliating people. This is about getting in your space. And I've watched Governor Ventura while they laughed and giggled and said, it's the governor, and, basically wanted autographs and stuff in Atlanta. As he said, this country's like East Germany now. This is why I go to Mexico part of the year. And it was all a big joke to them. It's all very funny. TSA 2 weeks ago when I was flying out of Vegas for a meeting with Governor Ventura, the guy said to me, he said, I have administrative rights. You basically don't have rights. And now the TSA is announcing checkpoints in America. And I want Governor Ventura to continue to elaborate on this martial law situation in his own words. But now he's got breaking news today. He's now learned exactly what went down and how the judge sat on it for a certain period, so it couldn't even go to the Court of Appeals, even if he wanted to go to the Star Chamber. Now notice, under this federal law that gives the TSA all this martial law power, you don't get a jury trial now. It goes right to the Court of Appeals. So this is a new system of government. You got the Star Chamber Super Congress now that originates the spending bills. All of this centralization of power is happening, and he's going to cover the waterfront here with us. A, there's been a national media blackout. B, when he does local news, he's going to tell you what happens to him. They misconstrue what he says, take it out of context. It's incredible. So he's got a whole raft of things we'll cover in the next hour, and we will open the phones up specifically for people that have a question for Jesse Ventura as well. But Governor, chin up. We appreciate you taking action. We appreciate you boycotting the airlines and taking a stand for everybody. But Rosa Parks was being made to sit at the back of the bus. Imagine if they were saying, well, we're going to grab your breast and stick our hands down your pants and put you in a microwave oven. This is far more than that. This is a civil rights issue of our Fourth Amendment, of the 10th Amendment, states' rights. I mean, you're a governor. I want you to speak to that. Governor, you've got the floor here. Tell us what's happening.
Well, Alex, thank you. First of all, it seems I'm running into a brick wall with the media. Mainstream media won't discuss the case. They don't think it's relevant at all. In fact, I was due to do CNN yesterday, and I was bumped because, of course, the big trial verdict was coming down in the Michael Jackson case. You know, and so that has more importance. And I said to the person via second person to CNN, I said, well, I completely understand. After all, mine's simply a constitutional issue. Why would that take preference over, you know, Michael Jackson's verdict on his drug overdose? You know, but that's our pop culture media. Locally, I did a radio show yesterday where the local Guy Williams on WCCO TV or radio in Minnesota equated me to being Kim Kardashian, and that I was doing all this simply for publicity for my television show. This entire court case.
Incredible. You know, I guess my children have never flown, and my wife hasn't flown in 9 years just because of the searching, not much less the groping now. I guess we never get to fly anywhere and visit places because we want publicity as well.
I don't know, you know, but that's what I'm going up in. Excuse my voice, Alex. I'm battling a bit of a sore throat. But that's what I'm going up against in the media, and you're really my only outlet right now. I laughingly kidded you about it last week, but it's actually come true that I think I'm going on tomorrow with Judge Napolitano on Fox. He's one of the decent guys out there. You know, and he's going to have me on tomorrow, and I'm sure the judge will want to talk about this, and we'll get his opinion because he's a legitimate judge, or was before he took his TV show. You know, so we'll get his opinion on what just went down on it. But other than Judge Napolitano and you, I really have no media at all because they're avoiding this like the plague because I have to believe they're part of it too.
Well, it's the same media that told us Iraq had WMDs, Governor.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same media that has lied to us constantly, the same media that, you know, takes our news and twists it to political, whatever way it needs to go. It's the same media that won't take pictures of our dead bodies coming home, but they will happily show you multiple pictures of Muammar Gaddafi getting shot in the head. But they won't show any of our troops that come home in body bags or American flags on the caskets because, naturally, there's a price that we're paying also for these wars.
There is. Now you dropped a bombshell on me. This is newsworthy. You've had time to flesh this out with your lawyer now. Specifically, talk about the setup. Talk about what the judge did. You were explaining to me earlier how she sat on this, because I was gov. Even if it's a star chamber, go ahead and still take it to the star chamber and say, okay, let's see what the star chamber is going to do. And you said no.
I can't.
Tell folks.
Well, because apparently there's a statute of limitations that when you file the case, you have 60 days in which to take it to the Court of Appeals. Well, I filed the case last January, and the judge didn't even rule on it till a week or so ago. So my statute of limitations, my attorney explained it best to me. It's a catch-22. And so this is how they're avoiding anyone going and having a jury trial. What they're telling, and I'm speaking to all your listeners, Alex, what they're telling you is this, that you as citizens cannot perform like the elitists that they are, that you are not capable of making a constitutional decision. So therefore, they will not let any constitutional decision go to a jury. I cannot have a jury trial. They're not allowing me. They threw me out of court, and they did it in a non-timely fashion. They waited 10 months so that my 60 days after filing to go to the Court of Appeals would then expire, as I understand it. You know, while I'm waiting for her to do the decision. Now, if your listeners want to voice opinion about Judge Nelson, feel free to do so. It's Judge Nelson in the St. Paul District of the Federal Court. She's the same woman that initially did, the same judge that handled the National Football League. The first one to make a ruling on it. So, you know, if they want to email her, call her, write. I'm actually, Alex, you know, I've gone down 4 times now with the Picket Wall Street people in Minneapolis. But I'm going to switch. I'm not going down there anymore. In my spare time now, I'm going to go over to the St. Paul Federal Courts building, and I'm going to walk by myself with my own sign. And my sign